because there's 5.
Well, you're already making me laugh before I'm doing this intro. Hi, everybody. My name's Yvonne. I'm a reporter here at the LA Times. And joining me today is our calendar, our Google,
Wilson
our
the
Wilson the volleyball. We're joined today by Tony Hale, Selena's right-hand man du jour, lapdog. Yes.
Abuse victim.
Abuse victim. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And you guys think we're here for an Emmy chat, but we're actually here for a PSA on Snapchat.
Yeah, we were just talking about Snapchat that so kids love it. They said, but the reason they created that was to send
Bad, naughty things.
bad, naughty things, and then it erases. So I have a 9-year-old.
Do you remember when it was the bad, naughty things?
No, I heard about it, and they were all like, "Oh, it's so fun." And I'm like, I have an idea of why that was created. So the fact that kids have it scares me.
Probably for politicians.
That's the reason I'm here today.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. Congrats on your Emmy nom.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm serious. That's crazy. I don't know. That's a party I never thought I'd be invited to, so it's very exciting.
But you're always invited. People like you.
No, it's really. And somebody said, I don't know. I think if anybody ever gets used to it, I just think they need to be popped upside the head, because it's not something you get used to.
You don't think there's some people out there that have gotten used to
Oh,
it?
I'm sure they need to be popped upside the head. So let's find them.
Let's find them. Did you like that the nominations came out later? We had a little more time to get some Z's in.
Yeah, totally. That was very nice.
That was nice. Mm-hmm. How did you find out?
My manager called me and told me, and my wife and I just get really excited, and it's just very exciting. And we totally forgot to take my daughter to camp.
No.
So she was like, "You got to drive me to camp, Dad." It's like, "Oh, right, father duties."
Father duties. Well, you had quite the season. I mean, I was not expecting this so soon. I mean, we saw it coming. It had to eventually happen.
Yeah. It's been in the making.
It's been in the making.
Yeah.
And we're talking about episode 2, where Gary just finally...
He lets loose.
He let loose like no other. And I loved it.
It was so fun. I mean, poor Gary, he's gotten a lot of abuse. But, the thing with Gary is he doesn't really hear it. I mean, he has broken up with boyfriends for her. Yes. He digs through her trash.
Yes.
She verbally abuses him. The earwax. She verbally abuses him constantly. But he kind of has rose-colored glasses and doesn't hear it. But in this particular scene, in episode 2, she said something to him that really broke him. Because in his world, he's everything. She's everything, yes. But he thinks that he's everything to her. Like, she can't live without Gary. Mm-hmm. So when she said to him, "You're a middle-aged man who sanitizes my tweezers," yes. That was like, what? And that's when it clicked.
Yeah, it clicked.
And he let her have it, which it was very freeing to be able to have that moment. And anyways, yeah.
Had they told you, like, at the start, like, we're going to see him finally?
Well, it's kind of built up.
It's been building,
It's been building up. And it started because with her as president, he didn't have as much access to her. And he would rather her verbally abuse him than distance herself from him. That's like emotional suicide for Gary.
Right.
So that began to happen. So he started getting really nervous. And then she gave him some responsibilities to take care of this dinner, this presidential dinner. And he was very excited about it, went overboard.
I think he'd be upset that we don't have a centerpiece right now.
He'd be very upset.
Sorry.
He'd be very upset. She called him even Gary Antoinette.
Yes.
So he went a little crazy. And then when she said that about being the middle-aged man, it all came out.
Well, and when she's giving her speech and she's just like with daggers, and the way he's just like walking, like I don't see it.
There's one moment where she says something to him, and all he can do is just brush the ice sculpture.
Yes. That was that written in, or did you just do that?
Well, it was right next to me, and I didn't know what. I mean, it's so he's never seen that face come at him, and I didn't know what to do. So I just saw that. It's like that's all I can think to do is it's just time to pet the sculpture. Just gonna get wet. So, but anyway, the thing about that one particular scene where we kind of fought and stuff, what I'm so grateful for is the rehearsal time we have, because there was a lot happening. And they gave us the time to kind of find the rhythms and because they give us a rehearsal period, and we're very thankful for that.
Because I was gonna say, like, that must have been one of the scenes where it must have been impossible not to laugh.
I mean, I think every scene's pretty hard for me not. I mean, I'm kind of known that I can't keep it together, which is incredibly unprofessional, and I should not have this job. But that was, I don't know.
You didn't laugh?
There's been other stuff that's very, very, very hard not to laugh. That one, not because it was so, just we were so angry, and so for some reason I didn't have a hard time not laughing with that. But the majority of the time I have a very difficult time not laughing.
Well, and what did you think of like the things he was sort of spewing at her? Because it was like, it was just.
Yeah.
I wanted to transcribe it, so if ever comes a time I need to tell my boss something, I want to say all that. But
have it. Well, let me think. It started because, she didn't think obviously he was important, and he started reciting how important he is, like all these facts, like he knows whose daughter is in rehab and all this kind of stuff.
Birthday.
Yeah, and then she said that about something, and then that's when he started screaming out that I'm everything to you and all this kind of stuff, and then she's like, no, you're not, and then Labor Day came up, and neither one of us knows what happened on Labor Day, but it was clearly dark. Like something dark happened.
They didn't fill you in?
No, and I don't really want to be filled in, because I kind of love the aspect of surprise and not knowing what's going to happen. So I mean, it's dark because it shut her up and shut me up, and it just went quiet.
Yeah.
So, and I've done some pretty demeaning things, obviously. Nothing's too bad. So that something took the cake.
Were you sort of like giving Gary a pat on the back for finally sticking up for himself, or? But then it all sort of went back to normal.
Yeah, as an actor, it was so fun just to be able to let loose like that. But what was also fun was we were da 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 da, and then it went right back to master servant.
Yeah.
And that was fun to have that quick of a turn, And
sponge cake.
With the sponge cake, he offered some sponge cake.
Has that effect, yeah.
And so that was fun to kind of get back into that rhythm again. Because after he said it, he realized, oh my gosh, I have cussed out my queen. Like life is officially over. Like it's come to an end.
Well, and he wasn't the only one that season that cussed out the queen. We saw Amy too, sort of.
Yeah. And she let her have it. But she's just stone cold, man. Like she just doesn't, and that's what's fascinating, because when Amy cussed her out, she kind of stayed like da-da-da. But when Labor Day was said,
it was like
something happened, and that's why I'm really eager to find out. I hope we find out what happens on Labor Day.
You have to find out.
I know,
We
I gotta
have
find out. Yeah.
We have to, even if behind the scenes, and then you could just text.
It's in a secret vault.
Yeah. Put it on Snapchat. It'll disappear.
Right? Will it? Screenshot, people. People can screenshot things.
Well, what's it like to just see Gary sort of evolve here? I mean, it's been fun to see him like have the girlfriend and now stick up for himself. Like, talk about his evolution over the 4 seasons.
I don't know if it's. I mean, it has obviously evolved. I don't know if it's evolved in a great place, but it's definitely. I would like that scene where at least he kind of began to stand up for himself. That was. You saw some maturity there. But I hope he never evolves past that, because I love this place that he's in where, he started this job in his 20s, he's now in his 40s, he doesn't know anything else. She's if she goes on and works at Target after this,
He'll be there?
I'm going to be by her side.
Wow.
So he doesn't know a life outside of her. And I love that he always stays in that safe place, but then thinks that, like when the girlfriend came up, no one can trump Selena, so she's out, And I was talking to somebody recently that I think he also, when he goes home at night, he probably plays a game where he recites stuff in his bag in a recorder, and then places it there, and then puts a blindfold on and just practices to make sure he can get it.
Get everything.
Time, So, because it's his life. It's totally his life.
We had Michael Kelly here yesterday, who plays Doug Stamper.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he thinks Doug is more loyal to Frank than Gary is to Selena, and he says he thinks Doug is. And I was like,
okay.
Can we,
right, well,
can we get a rebuttal here?
Yeah, those are fighting words. First of all, he doesn't know the relationship we have.
He doesn't know about Labor Day.
And I don't think he wants to marry Frank. Because I want to be the first lady.
You do.
So I think there's a lot more emotional depth in our relationship. So I would say commitment and a love fest, which I don't think he has that.
What do you think?
And by the way, I've seen that show, Michael.
He's creepy.
He
probably uses Snapchat.
And I will say, he's got something going on behind the scenes of Frank.
He has a lot of Labor Days, I think.
Yeah. Yes. There's a whole world happening outside of that. Whereas Gary, when he's behind the scenes, he's still devoted. She's everything. I don't know if that's the case between him and Frank.
All right.
So
you heard it here first.
Watch what you say.
Watch what you say. What do you think a Gary and Selena wedding would look like?
Oh my God.
What would those centerpieces be like?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Let me think. That wedding would, well, let's just acknowledge the fact it's going to happen.
Yes.
Because that's what he's living for.
Yes.
I don't think she'll be there. But he will be first to arrive. He'll be arrived first. I don't know. He won't, I mean, she will not leave him at the altar.
She will not leave him at the altar.
What if he created a wedding and just didn't tell her about it and she just showed up?
I want him to have like a diorama, like already ready. Like I have it figured out.
He has the church filled with just like people he paid.
Yeah.
And he's got his tux on, and she's just
What are his vows gonna be?
Oh, what are his vows not gonna be? But he's fixed. He's got his tux and everything, and he says, "Oh, sweetie," he says, "Sweetie," he says, "Selena, you have a meeting here at 2:00," and she shows up. He's like, "I do."
I do. I so want this to happen.
It's happening.
Are the writers watching? Do we got anyone?
They are. Get your pens out.
Well, and you guys had like some new additions. You had Hugh Laurie
Hugh
join.
Laurie is great. Sam Richardson, just really great people.
What was that like to have that new sort of blood in there?
I know,
to
it's
play
fun
with?
Because Sam, who plays Richard on the show, his character is obviously devoted to Jonah, who, why anybody would be devoted to Jonah is beyond me, but he kind of always has this happy glass half full thing, and Gary tries to have that, but he's just there's a lot of anxiety and just stuff going on inside, so it's really fun to kind of play off Sam's optimism. I'm hoping to have more scenes with Sam because I really love him, and Hugh's like, he just walked in as George Clooney.
I know. He's like talking to people. Hey.
And she's just trying to talk to people. She doesn't talk to humans. But I love that they still call it Veep.
Yes.
Because she's still second to somebody.
She's still second.
He's Superman, and she's still trying to get that power.
How did you feel about how things ended and what lies ahead for season 5?
Man, the fact
and we don't have Armando.
I know. But you know what? With Armando, that was sad, because you become this family unit and you love the writers and you get used to everybody. But I have such admiration for the choice he made because he obviously lives in the UK and he wanted to spend more time with his family, and it's a tough schedule. So I have I'm really going to miss him. Dave Mendel is coming in as the showrunner, and he's worked with Julia on Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld, and he's the best and has a great team of writers. So I'm really looking forward to what's coming up, but just in a sense of like, you're just going to miss him because I love all those guys.
How about, what do you think, not that he has a lot of time considering he's constantly on call, but what does Gary watch in his spare time? Is he a binger, you think? Is he like watching HBO
I think
now?
there might be a hidden cam in the office and he watches He's watching
Selena.
playback. He's watching playback of his activity just to make sure he's getting all the moves right. He's sitting down and saying, okay, I can do this better. I can do this turn better. Cut with also probably movies he's made of her.
Oh my God.
I know.
Talk about the relationship you and Julia have, and like, are you guys constantly like texting each other like, oh, we should try something like this, or we should do this, or what is that?
That's what's so fun about working with Julia, and really everybody on the cast because we like each other so much, and I know that's maybe not necessarily always the case, and so it makes a huge difference because we have that freedom and that permission just to say, hey, we should try this and this and this, and that we're not walking on eggshells. And so with Julia, it's, I don't know, we have a trust where even if I were to go, doesn't feel right, she's gonna be like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, or she says that, I'm like, totally get it, and we get it, so because I trust in her that she's got the comic sense to know that this can be better, and so we encourage each other with that.
Was there any Gary scenes that didn't make it in that you wish had, or anything that might be?
This is triggering my memory issues. This is not good. They'll release kind of deleted scenes after episodes, and I'm trying to think if there was I don't know if it was Selena, but there was one with Mike that I loved, where when he had his orange mustache.
God, that mustache. It was too much.
Too much. Tangerine.
So weird.
So weird, but so fantastic. And I love that he's like, yeah, nobody notices.
It was disturbing. Now I want to see that scene.
Yeah, but he was
Were
like...
you touching the mustache in the scene?
No, but I didn't touch it, but the best was when it just started running, the dye started running, and you're just like, yep. And he's like, what? Nobody notices?
Oh my God, amazing. Well, and I was talking to you about going to TCA. It's still going on.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And Netflix had a...
Fix your glasses. This is very Gary of me.
Thank you, Gary.
Okay, sir.
I feel so special now.
You are special.
I wish I had a right-hand man like Gary.
Okay.
There was a Netflix panel, and Ted Sarandos obviously got hit with the Arrested Development question.
Sure.
And he said it's in the works. Is
Yeah.
that more than you know?
That's all I know.
That's all you
Like,
know.
I get excited when these quotes are made because I'm like, what? What's happening?
Get
but
Google alert set up.
Again, it's that surprise thing where I want to know what happened to Buster, because it ended where something happened to our sweet Liza Minnelli,
Yes.
Lucille too, and that story, I got to find out what happened with the story, so.
In your head, what happened?
I don't think it's, oh man, what comes up in my head is not near as funny as what comes up in Mitch Hurwitz's head.
I don't know. Your Selena Gary wedding's pretty awesome.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. Maybe as a reality show, but something. It's hard for me to see Buster do something that brutal, so that's where I'm just so interested to find out what that piece of the puzzle is that he's come up with. So I want to find out, I want to see the end of this, I want to find the story. So I'm really eager to start and just to see what the scripts say.
Interesting. Well, and did you want to talk about the GOP battle?
I'm like the worst. What's funny is I'm on a show about politics, and I get so overwhelmed by politics. Have you ever heard of the Daily Skim?
Yes.
My wife.
Colbert was talking about it yesterday.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
My wife got me onto it, and it's like this Cliff Note version where you just kind of get bits of what happened in the news. And it's great for me because it's like, okay, this is what's going on. Because some people can watch CNN and read all this kind of stuff. I just get overwhelmed.
Glassy-eyed. I don't know.
So it's nice to have that a little bit.
Do you think Trump has
and
a Gary?
of course, the LA Times. I love too.
Thank you, plug. Do you think Trump has a Gary?
Oh, sure. Oh, he's got a Gary. And I bet he's as emotionally stable as Gary.
Do you think he wants to marry Trump? Is he that committed?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, he should be.
He should be. Have you started getting ready for the Emmys? Have you thought about who you're going to take, what you're going to wear?
Who I'm going to take? I think I'm going to take my wife.
You never know.
No, I'm kidding. We don't give it too much thought. I mean,
guys have it easy with the fashion.
We do. That's true. It really is true. But it's so fun to think about. And my wife and I have talked about what she might want to wear and stuff like that, and that's really fun. And I get excited about the parties and the free food. And that's just fun.
Who do you want to see?
Ooh, I'm into Empire. Did they get nominated? I don't know.
Show didn't.
But she did.
But she did.
And that cookie. She's good.
She's really good.
So people like that.
If Gary were ever to transition to someone else, I'd want it to be Cookie.
Because I think she would be kinder.
Yeah, she would be kinder.
She would be kinder. And by the way, that says a lot. That says a lot about Selena. Her and then let me think about the show. And I'm crazy about Amy Schumer.
Oh yeah.
I think Amy Schumer is fantastic, and I got to meet her. Was it last year or a couple years ago? And I just think she's great. So all those kind of people I love seeing, and also people you've worked with that you don't get to see a lot, and and it's fun to get dressed up, and the energy's fun, and then you go to the party and just eat the free food.
Eat all the food.
I love it.
Eat all the food.
Love
I
it.
always somehow see John Stamos at these things, like always.
Yeah.
And always.
He's got a new show coming out. Grandfather?
Yeah, Grandfather.
But then there's
and Fuller House.
Fuller House. Don't think I'm not going to be tuning into that.
Please, I think you need to get on
Did
that.
the Olsen twins sign up?
Not yet.
Oh.
Make a plea, please. Maybe if Tony Hale tells them to do it, they'll do it.
Yeah, that'll convince them.
That'll convince them. Well, Tony, it was a great pleasure talking to you.
Thank
We
you.
wish
This
you
was
luck
fun.
on the big day.
Thank you.
We'll be watching. And everyone, thanks for joining us. If you want to see more of our Emmy chats, head over to latimes.com.